On KGW News, two prolific Portland taggers caught, police say, with way more than spray paint.
Nobody wants the police to show up on their doorstep and raid their house.
Plus, counting ballots in Clark County. So will voters in Washougal choose to save high school sports? But first,
she left behind a legacy that you could see by the crowd.
A celebration of life fit for a queen as the Rose City says goodbye to Darcel.
Being Darcel was Walter Cole's superpower.
Good evening, and we begin with a Portland icon who carried her Rose City stage for more than 50 years and set a record as the world's oldest performing drag queen. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko. Whether you knew him as Walter Cole or by his alter ego, as he called her, Darcel, he and she, either way was fine with them, leave behind a legacy like no other. Our Catherine Cook was at tonight's memorial.
It's clear Darcel had a lasting impact on countless people, and it was fitting that she was celebrated tonight in a theater. Darcel and Walter Cole lived to perform, to make people smile, and to help them feel seen. Saying farewell to a queen.
She left behind a legacy that you could see by the crowd that's in here that has followed on.
Thousands of people gathered at the Arlene Schnitzer Concert Hall Tuesday to remember Darcel.
Darcel wouldn't have wanted people to mourn without celebrating the fact that she has changed so many lives.
She was the drag queen, larger than life, sparkling, breaking barriers and records. He was Walter Cole, the man behind the makeup, and just as dazzling to those he left behind. So many people now sorting through the loss.
This community hasn't really known this city or the gay community without Darcel or her husband Rock, so now they're both gone, but they're always in our heart.
Cole passed away in March. He was 92 years old and not far removed from the stage he loved so much. Cole's entertainment career spanned 56 years, and he embodied Darcel till the end. In 2016, the Guinness Book of World Records certified Cole as the oldest performing drag queen. Now, at Darcel's in Old Town, the show goes on without the club's namesake.
All of us queens, we look at her as kind of our mama, you know. We loved her, and she will now always be with us.
It's only fitting that Darcel be remembered on a stage, a platform on which she brought so many to their feet, Governor Tina Kotek included.
Darcel was Walter Cole's superpower. And many have said that superpower saved lives.
And as the crowd remembers Darcel's life, it's clear, perhaps more than a memorial, this night was her curtain call. In downtown Portland, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Yeah, she and he will be missed. New tonight, votes are being tallied in Clark County's special election where people cast ballots for school district replacement levies, 2 in Washougal School District. The third is in Woodland. Let's get to those results. First in Washougal, the capital improvement levy, which the school district says would give schools health and safety improvements. These are the current numbers so far. You can see the yeses out in front there, 57 to 42. Number 2, still in Washougal, funds, services, and operations that include library positions, athletic programs, sports teams, and custodians. All right, these are operations not funded by the state or federal government. At last check here, you can see yeses 58, 41 in the nose. Let's head over to Woodland. Things are looking a bit closer. A similar levy, according to the district, preventing $3 million in cuts, 52 to 47. Keep in mind, though, these are unofficial and early results. And staying in Washington, the governor signed a bill today banning the sale of semi-automatic rifles and more that the state defines as assault weapons. Within hours, opponents sued the state in federal court. Alma McCarty has reaction, plus the local connection to that lawsuit.
With the stroke of a pen Tuesday morning, House Bill 1240 became law, and Washington state became the 10th in the nation to ban the sale of certain semi-automatic rifles.
This bill prohibits the sale, import, distribution, or manufacture of any military-style assault weapon in the state of Washington starting today. I'm happy to say that, today.
though opponents took immediate action, with gun advocacy group the Second Amendment Foundation based in Bellevue suing the state in federal court. Attorney General Bob Ferguson says his office is ready for the challenge.
We're confident. We haven't lost a case yet against the NRA or the Second Amendment Foundation. They've challenged common sense gun reform in the state. My legal team is better than their legal team, and I'm confident we'll win again.
Sporting Systems, a Vancouver gun store which declined to comment, is named as one of the plaintiffs. According to court documents, the dealer specializes in high-end rifles, pistols, and shotguns, and says the ban, quote, substantially constricted its market and harmed its business.
I really think Inslee is foolish for putting this, ban on semi-automatics.
Will Ward is a gun owner who lives in Vancouver.
You can't take away my right to own a gun. The government doesn't have the authority to do that.
Though the legislation does not ban possession, but rather the sale and transfer of assault weapons, with exceptions for law enforcement and the military. While supporters of the gun control bill who've worked for years to get it signed into law call it life-saving and common sense.
We knew that things needed to change.
These weapons of war, of assault weapons, have no reason other than mass murder.
The semi-automatic rifle ban was one of 3 gun control measures. Governor Inslee also signed into law a bill that imposes a 10-day waiting period on firearms purchases and another that clears the way for lawsuits against gun makers or sellers in certain cases. David?
And I'm sure you will continue to follow that court challenge and likely others very closely. Thanks, Alma. Let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now. One person is dead after they were shot by police outside a furniture store along Southeast 82nd. Portland police and Clackamas County deputies say they were chasing a person Monday night they believed was involved in a homicide. It is unclear if the victim had a gun or shot at the officers. The officers involved have now been placed on paid administrative leave. In Northeast Portland, a pedestrian suffered life-threatening injuries after being hit by a car. This was on Northeast 122nd near Shaver Street. Police say the driver there is cooperating with the investigation. And Oregon State Police are reporting a major drug bust on I-5 near Salem. Federal prosecutors say troopers caught a man on Sunday transporting 51 pounds of meth and 31 pounds of fentanyl. Troopers allegedly also found cocaine and heroin in the vehicle. 22-year-old Miguel Cruz Barrales is now facing federal drug charges. Well, what began as an investigation into graffiti, eventually authorities say led them to ghost guns. Now, Portland police say they've been trying to find a pair of prolific taggers who seem to go by the names Thuja and Beer since last summer. You see it there. Eventually, the trail, they say, led to Southeast Portland and the home of Beer, who police say is actually named Jacob Ramos. Inside, the investigator says they found a lot more than spray paint with more than a dozen firearms.
You can buy these components off the shelf. Once you modify them and make all of these changes to them, they become functioning firearms, and that's what we saw there.
All right, Ramos now faces more than 100 charges. Police also caught up with the tagger they say is known as Thuja. They've identified her as 26-year-old Shalala Rostami, who's facing some 30 misdemeanor charges.